Intimacy after 64. Kissing spots he craves deeply, but 80% women never do. Every woman thinks she knows how to kiss a man, but only a few ever make him feel something deeper than a spark, something that reaches past his skin and settles into the quiet chambers of his heart. And I can tell you this with certainty as a man in his 60s who's lived through 2 marriages and a lifetime of lessons. Most men will never admit the places they truly want to be loved, not because they don't feel it, but because their pride won't let them say it out loud. That's exactly why you need to stay with me until the end of this video, because what I'm about to share took me years to understand, and even longer to find the courage to speak about. Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's Vernon again. In today's video, I'll share 4 kissing spots that awaken not just his body, but his nervous system, his trust, and his soul, spots that transform attraction into emotional connection and turn fleeting desire into lasting intimacy after 60. So before we dive into the 4 spots that awaken this depth, like this video and subscribe to my channel, because here we share relationship advice for women after 60, wisdom about love, dating tips for women, emotional intimacy, and the attraction psychology that turns ordinary moments into unforgettable memories. The kind of kiss that melts a man's heart doesn't begin with seduction. It begins with safety. Because when he feels safe enough to let go, that's when his body truly opens, his guard softens, and emotional connection begins to form. And that's exactly where the first spot comes in. Hajon, behind his ear. Let me tell you something. Most women never consider. The space behind a man's ear holds more power than his lips ever will. It's not about pleasure in the way you think, it's about trust. And trust is the foundation of every desire that lasts beyond the bedroom. When your breath touches that delicate skin behind his ear, when your lips graze that soft, vulnerable spot where his jaw meets his neck, you awaken something ancient in his body, the vagus nerve, the body's pathway for calm and connection, the thread that ties his racing thoughts to his beating heart. This isn't lust. This is peace wrapped in attraction. And his nervous system recognizes it immediately. His body softens, his shoulders drop, his breath deepens, and in that moment, he's not thinking about what comes next. He's simply present, anchored by your presence, held by the confidence in women who understand that feminine energy doesn't seduce through force, but through the quiet power of awareness. Behind the ear is where he listens to the world, where sound becomes meaning, where whispers turn into memories. And when you kiss there, you become the private sound his heart remembers long after you've pulled away. You're not just close, you've entered the space where he stops performing, where the armor he wears in the world falls away, and what's left is the man beneath the mask, raw and real and aching to be seen. Many women have noticed that even the strongest, most guarded men tend to soften when kissed behind the ear. Their bodies go still, their defenses drop, and in that quiet moment, it's as if a door long kept shut finally opens. That's the power of this spot. It's the portal of trust, and when you enter it with intention, you're not just touching his body, you're speaking to his soul. In the words of the poet Rumi, let yourself be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you really love. It will not lead you astray. And when you kiss, in him there, you're letting his body guide you toward the emotional chemistry that turns attraction into devotion. When trust begins, connection follows. And once you've touched the part of him that listens to the world, it's time to reach the rhythm that keeps him alive, the pulse that tells you what he feels even when he says nothing. #2. Inside his wrist. When you kiss the inside of his wrist, you're kissing where his heartbeat lives, where the rhythm of his life pulses just beneath the surface. And that recognition, that awareness creates a paradox the brain becomes addicted to. It's not about seduction. It's about acknowledgement, about saying without words, I see you. I feel your rhythm. I'm tuned to the frequency of your existence. The inside of the wrist is one of the most sensitive spots on the human body, rich with nerve endings and vulnerability, and when you touch it, whether with your lips, your fingertips, or simply by holding his hand and pressing your thumb there, you activate both calm and excitement in his nervous system simultaneously. This is the kind of emotional magnetism that desire triggers can't replicate, because it's not about what you do to him. It's about how you make him feel seen, alive, and connected to something larger than himself. The wrist is the pulse of awareness, the bridge between mind and body. And when you touch it, you're grounding him in the present moment, while also awakening the part of him that craves connection, secrets only found in emotional intimacy. My wife Sarah used to kiss the inside of my wrist when we sat together in silence, watching the evening light fade through the window. And every time she did, I felt something I can only describe as being remembered, not just as a man, but as a soul sharing space with another soul. It wasn't passionate in the way movies depict passion. It was deeper, quieter, more profound, and it made me feel like I could exhale the weight of the day and simply be. The philosopher Alan Watts once said, "The only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance." And when you kiss his wrist, you're joining the dance of his heartbeat, synchronizing your rhythm with his, creating the kind of communication skills that transcend language. This spot tells him, you're not alone, and your life, your pulse, your presence matters to me. And that's the seduction psychology that creates obsession, not through manipulation, but through genuine emotional connection. If this moment resonates with you, share this video with a friend who still believes intimacy fades with age, because it doesn't. It just changes form. Desire deepens when comfort meets awareness. And sometimes the strongest connection isn't found in words or glances. It's found in the places where tension hides and safety begins to dissolve it. #3. The small of his back. Have you ever noticed that a man's entire posture changes when you touch the small of his back? The small of his back, where protection meets surrender, is where tension hides, where the armor of daily life accumulates, and where safety has the power to release it. This is the part of his body that carries the day's burdens, the unseen weight of expectations, responsibilities, and the performance he puts on for the world. And when you touch or kiss there, his body instinctively relaxes and pulls you closer, not out of hunger, but relief. His nervous system recognizes you as home, and that recognition creates the kind of vulnerability power that transforms attraction into emotional devotion. You've shifted from being the flame that excites him to being the hearth that grounds him. And in that shift, everything changes. Because now you're no longer just someone he desires, you're someone he needs. Many women discover that this spot, the small of a man's back, holds an unexpected kind of magic. When touched with care, it becomes the moment his body remembers it no longer needs to fight or perform. You can literally feel the tension leave him, like ice melting into water. Men who appear stoic, guarded, or endlessly composed often soften in silence when this area is touched, their breathing deepening, their shoulders lowering, their entire presence shifting from control to calm. It's not passion that drives that reaction, it's trust. It's the body's way of saying, "You're safe here." And in that moment of release, many men find themselves opening up emotionally in ways words never could. That's the essence of this place, the surrender point. When you touch him there, you're communicating what every man secretly longs to hear. You don't have to hold everything together right now. You can rest. And for men, especially after 60, that feeling of safety is what transforms attraction into deep, lasting connection. When you kiss or touch him there, you're saying without words, "You can put the armor down now, I've got you." And that message bypasses his mind and speaks directly to the part of him that's been waiting his entire life to hear it. To borrow the words of psychologist Carl Rogers, the curious paradox is that when I accept myself just as I am, then I can change. And when you touch the small of his back, you're offering him that acceptance, creating a space where he doesn't need to change or perform. He only needs to be real. This is where mindset for love shifts from strategy to presence, where dating tips for women after 60 become less about technique and more about the confidence in women who know that true power lies not in what you do, but in how you make someone feel safe enough to surrender. What does it look like, in your experience, when a man finally stops performing and starts trusting? Share your thoughts below. Someone out there might find healing in your words. When he feels safe enough to exhale, something beautiful happens. His body stops defending, and his heart starts listening. And that's when you can reach the center of it all, the place where his heartbeat becomes your conversation. #4. The center of his chest. When you rest your lips or your hand over his chest, right where his heart beats, you're not just touching skin, you're speaking to his essence, to the part of him that exists beneath all the roles he plays. And that conversation creates something most people never experience: belonging. This gesture triggers oxytocin and emotional vulnerability in ways that few others can, because the chest is where men carry unspoken grief and pride, where joy and sorrow are locked together in a vault that rarely opens. Kissing there is permission. Permission to stop pretending strength, to be held, to feel without needing to explain. And when you offer that permission, his body responds with a depth of connection that words could never create. It's not passion in the traditional sense. It's something quieter and infinitely more powerful. It's the feeling of being seen, not just for what he does or how he looks, but for who he is beneath all of that. My younger sister Olwen told me a story about a moment that changed everything in her relationship. Her partner had just received devastating news about his health, and instead of trying to fix it or offer advice, she simply placed her hand over his heart and held it there. She said she felt his heartbeat accelerate, then slow, then find a rhythm that matched her own. And in that silence, he cried for the first time in years, not because he was weak, but because he finally felt safe enough to let the weight he'd been carrying find release. That's what this spot does. It transforms desire into devotion, attraction into emotional chemistry, and connection into the kind of relationship goals that sustain love after 60 and beyond. The writer Anais Nin once said, "We don't see things as they are. We see them as we are." And when you touch his chest, you're inviting him to see himself through your eyes, not as a man who must always be strong, but as a human being worthy of tenderness, presence, and love. This is the anchor of connection, the place where the soul recognizes itself in another. And when you combine this with the other three spots, trust, pulse, and surrender, you create a sensory story that speaks to every part of him that's ever longed to be understood. Save this video as a reminder that real intimacy isn't built through passion alone. It's built through presence, touch, and the quiet safety that lets two hearts finally beat in rhythm. By now, you know the 4 spots that awaken not just his body, but his trust and soul. Because real connection isn't about heat, it's about how safe you make that heat feel. The most seductive thing about a woman isn't her lips, her body, or even her words. It's her awareness, her ability to be fully present in the moment, without agenda, without performance, without the need to prove anything. Because when she's fully present, her energy becomes the most irresistible language on earth. And that language speaks directly to the part of a man that's been waiting his entire life to be understood. As the philosopher Martin Buber once said, all real living is meeting. And when you touch a man with presence, you're not just meeting his body, you're meeting his soul. And that meeting creates the kind of connection secrets that turn ordinary relationships into extraordinary ones. Have you ever noticed how your presence alone could calm or awaken a man without saying a word? How just being fully there with him created a shift that no amount of talking or trying ever could? Share your experience in the comments, because your story might be exactly what another woman needs to hear to reclaim her own power in love and intimacy after 60. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more wisdom about love, dating tips for women, emotional intimacy, and the attraction secrets that create relationship goals you've always dreamed of. Visit the channel to explore more videos that will deepen your understanding of connection, desire, and the beauty of love after 60. And I'm Vernon, and thanks for watching till now, and see you in my next video.